regroup. Here we are at noon, halfway through or so, depending on your schedule, and to time to stop and think about what we're is happening in our lives. What do we need prayer for? I invite you to comment on whatever platform you're on. We can certainly be praying for one another, for us to have time to talk about what's important to us, and in the midst of our day to center ourselves again, to sort of be intentional and center ourselves in on the love of God and what we believe life to be about and what's most important to us. My name is DeDe Duncan Proby, and this time of live gathering is an offering for all of us to gather as community, whoever you may be on life's journey. And in this time, I thought we might have a little bit of noonday prayer. Good morning. Good afternoon, Barbara. I'm going to get over the good morning in a minute, but good afternoon. And I want to start with a bit of noonday prayer. We do have a form in our prayer book, and so I'm going to use that. So this is from Psalm 113. So let us center ourselves on God and take a moment to pray. Give praise, you servants of the Lord. Praise the name of the Lord. Let the name of the Lord be blessed from this time forth forevermore. From the rising of the sun to its going down, let the name of the Lord be praised. The Lord is high above all nations, and his glory is above the heavens. And a reading. O God, you will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are fixed on you. For in returning and rest we shall be saved. In quietness and trust shall be our strength. A reading from Isaiah 26, verses 3, 30, and 3 and 30, 15. What an assurance that is, that God is with those and whose minds are fixed on God. In returning and rest we shall be saved. I wonder, for this day and in the midst of this day, are you finding rest? Are you finding nurture? Are you feeling encouraged in your life? Or is this time really hard? I think this is a period of time, not just today, but this stretch of time, when a lot of people are feeling a great deal of stress and strain. Relationships with one another are certainly challenged by differences of opinion, where all of us are seeking to live our lives with authenticity, but running into a lot of division and turmoil. And then, of course, a lot of us are suffering with the economics of this time, affording those things we need for our life. So I invite you in this moment to be attentive to where you're finding rest or how you're providing rest for yourself. Are you making sure to say no to those things that need to be sort of said no to so that you have the space to live your life? For some of us, that isn't a possibility. We don't have the ability to just turn something off. But all of us have an opportunity in the midst of our busyness, how we're going to approach it, whether or not we're going to have the radio on or have some silent time for prayer, whether we're going to engage in an argument or take a breath and offer a kind word and reach out, to call that person or write that letter or that note to someone of encouragement, and to create space in our life for rest and renewal, to create space in our life to empower God's work in us. Maybe what we're so busy doing, maybe what's so busy in our life isn't actually our call at all. Maybe we are being encouraged by God to slow down, pay attention to what matters, and refocus ourselves on different things. Instead of so often getting caught up in what's happening in the world, to allow what is happening with God to be offered to the world. Now, in our noonday prayer, we now have. I want to read a collect that's we off to offer. Blessed Savior, at this hour you hung upon the cross and stretched out your loving arms. Grant that all the peoples of the earth may look to you and be saved for your mercy's sake. Amen. This opportunity we have today to gather and to think about who we are and who God is in us is such a gift and such a wonderful opportunity for all of us to be intentional. I think it's really hard when I talk about refocusing. This world is very loud and noisy right now. Everyone has an opinion, everybody wants to talk. And I find that often there's not a lot of people who really want to help, to serve, to encourage. We can get really caught up in negativity. It's kind of like a drug, isn't it? Where, well, I don't like this, well, I don't like that. And everything is negative. And when we listen to the way we talk about things, to take stock of how often we say something hopeful, life giving, encouraging, positive, maybe it's hard to find those things right now. And is certainly true. But always, 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 there is something for which to give thanks. And always there is something to pay attention to where God is showing up for us, where God is with us, where we can know that peace and know that encouragement. I invite you to share in the comments where you're able. Where are you finding encouragement? How are you finding peace? How are you finding hope? Because God is with us and God is walking with us, and those things are showing up each day when I walk, go for a walk, and I listen to the birds singing. It refocuses me on this beautiful creation around us, the world and all that is in it, the trees and the green, the birds and the it's just an amazing thing to realize that we have what we need here, but we can get so caught up and so off focus on what we don't have or what we wish we had or what we wish was different. And for those who are in a challenging time with a diagnosis or with a difficult thing that's happening with a loved one, to reach out to those we trust and can say, I'm struggling right now. I could really use prayer. Or could we just talk for a minute about something totally different as I refocus my life? Or I'd like to have an opportunity just to be part of something that makes a difference and is positive. I had talked with someone the other day who was off to go to choir practice at their church, and they talked about how they'd have a really hard day, but they couldn't wait to get to choir practice and just be part of praising God and music and just changing the narrative. That what a power it was each week to go and to be part of something that is different than the day to day to day. So for you, how are you finding rest? How are you finding that change? What helps you with your life and what is encouraging to you? I also want to make note of the fact that we're in the middle of August. And so a lot of people are on vacation, a lot of people are away or doing other things. And for some of us, we may not be able to take vacations or there's too much pressing in, and we may feel that we are kind of lost. And I want to encourage you that vacation isn't a geographical term. Vacation could be something that happens in the quietness of our own home and our own heart, where we just stop and let go and release what is bothering us to God and listen to music, draw, paint, color, do the things that are creative, knit if you're a knitter, um, to do things that are life giving and help us to refocus on God. What a gift it is to refocus. Um, I thought I would sing a song. This is kind of a Lenten song, but in talking about taking a break and resting, um, I don't know. This song always centers me when I sing it, and it's a familiar one. So when I suggest it, you'll know right away. But bless the Lord, my soul, to center in on praise and adoration of God in the midst of our day. I invite you to sing with me, even though it's the midst of the day. Doesn't mean it's going to be perfect. So, all of us together praising God as we're able. And if you're at work and singing isn't really like condoned, to sing in your heart, to let yourself be part of the music that's all around you. So, here we go. Bless the Lord, my soul, and bless God's holy name. Bless the Lord, my soul, who leads me into life. Bless the Lord, my soul, and bless God's holy name. Bless the Lord, my soul, who leads me into life. Always centers me, who leads me into life. What leads you into life? The life that is loving God with all our heart, mind, soul, and strength. The life that is knowing that God delights in you. The life that is using your gifts and your skills and the blessings of your life to share and honor God with them. Sometimes we need to say no to things, and sometimes we need to say yes. And we're afraid to say yes. It's so hard sometimes to do positive, kind, wonderful things because we think, oh, they won't really receive it, or I'll look silly, or people just don't do this. But to trust that if we're wanting to help and be encouraging and kind, that there's a place for that, even in this world that is so war torn and um, divided by cantankerous people. To be honest, even in this world, to offer to God the gift and blessing of who you are. And to be emboldened that who you are is a blessing, whether it feels that way all the time or not. So, for today, to think about how we're resting a bit, how we're tending to our soul, how we're ensuring that in our life that we are part of what God is doing, and that in our life we're utilizing our gifts, skills, and abilities to encourage, lift up, embolden, make this world a better place, to leave it better than we found it is so important. Now, this is my last Tuesday for a bit. I am going to practice what I preach, and I'm going to take a break, and I'm going to rest, and I'm going to renew, and I'll be off for a bit of time, but we'll be back on September 16th. We'll start up again with live, and this time we're going to move back to the morning, not quite as early for some of you, but to 8 o'clock, 8 a.m. on September 16th. I'll be back to center our days, to talk about what God is doing in our lives, and to move into the fall, into a new season of our life as we prepare our hearts for what God is doing now and what God continues to call us to be about. So, for the next month or so, blessings to you. May you know that you're loved and be a blessing to those around you. And I look forward to seeing you 8 a.m. on September 16th. Take good care. Be good to yourself and to others. And we'll see each other then.